Hello. Well, it's good to meet you guys again. It's Dom here from In Sounds, meeting the Twilight Sad. I mean, I guess it's been quite quite interesting for you guys that you've sort of like been here and like obviously the first album came out was five years ago now. I mean, did you sort of like see yourselves obviously making a third record and playing festivals like this and headlining massive shows in America and things like that?
We just definitely wanted to see the band progress, I think. We just wanted people to come to our shows, be it a 100 capacity venue or any bigger than that. Just people come to your shows and like your music. That was the goal to begin with, and I think it still kind of is the goal. There's no thought of we need to be doing this, we need to be doing that, we need to be this big by this point. It was just a case of making music, see what happens. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, obviously reviews of No One Can Ever Know have been unanimously positive, I'd say, from this point of view. I mean, do you sort of like read much into what the press is saying about you? Do you think it's that important nowadays?
Nah, I don't at all. I really don't. Actually, like reviews and stuff I think are so pointless. It's like websites and stuff telling you what you should be liking and what you shouldn't be liking. I think you should just say, oh, this album's out and that's it, nothing more, it's like, maybe say a bit about it, but trying to like force other people's opinions on you and stuff like that, I find that quite, it's not the best kind of.
I learned the hard way. When the band first came out, like it was just curiosity, like finding out what people are saying about you and stuff. And for every 9 good things, you're going to get 1 bad thing, and you focus in on the 1 bad thing, and it kind of tears you up a wee bit when you see somebody calling you shite. But I mean, each to their own and stuff. I think it's important not to read them, even good reviews or bad reviews, because it's maybe going to make you think about things that you shouldn't think about. You should just concentrate on what comes naturally. We've never listened to anybody from day one, to be honest. Even good advice we probably didn't listen. But I think the best thing to do is just just do what comes naturally and not listen to anybody, and just that's the way you can project. That's the way we like to project ourselves, I suppose.
I think it's quite interesting as well, sort of listening back to the record, that your sound has changed quite an awful lot. There's quite more electronic elements now in your music. I mean, was that something which you'd sort of planned to do from an early age, or was it something that you sort of like again developed over time?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a gradual thing. It's like probably more about me getting bored. Like, I would hate to just rehash the same kind of sound in albums over and over again. And I mean, we would all get sick of it, touring it and whatnot, So, it's just always like to try and develop things and push ourselves a wee bit to try something else. And it'll be the same as with the next record as well. Don't really know where it's going yet, but it'll be different again,
Who's that guy over?
I don't know. There's a cat under my seat.
Joined by the cat.
That's my cat.
So obviously songs like Sick and Dead City seem to be quite personal and revealing in some ways. I mean, do you sort of like see songs as a way of, I guess, I don't know, letting go your innermost thoughts in many ways, because a lot of your songs do come across as being very personal and heartfelt.
It is a good way of getting something off your chest. It's a good way of calling somebody an arsehole without them actually knowing it as well. I know, to be honest, like people the perception of like the lyrics and stuff and how they're personal, people probably think I'm an absolute miserable bastard, but which in some cases is true, but generally quite a normal person. But I think we just like to kind of get that side of myself out within writing music and stuff like that.
I think like one thing that always comes across, and certainly whenever you play live though, is the level of intensity which you sort of show on stage. I mean, how do you sort of keep that level up for each show? I mean, there must be days where you perhaps don't, or you're not feeling as intense. I mean, how do you sort of manage to maintain that?
I don't know if this sounds cheesy or not, and I hope it doesn't, but the fact that people have paid money to come and see our band, I can always really appreciate that, and the fact that if you've paid £5–10 or whatever, and if there's 10 people to 100 people there or whatever, they've still paid money to come and see our band, so I like to kind of show what the songs meant when we were writing them and give across the best kind of performance possible. And we try to do that.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Can I interest anyone in frozen go?
For free?
Yeah, it's free.
Aye, too right.
There you go.
Cheers, thank you very much.
If you guys want some more, give us a shout.
Cool, cheers.
Hey, Paul, that's amazing.
That's really nice as well. So obviously you sort of like touched on, you know, you sort of briefly mentioned the next record. I mean, are there any works in progress? Are there any songs that are sort of like ready for album number 4?
The next half of the year is probably going to be like, tour schedule is going to be like going to America, doing Britain, and going to Europe again, so that's going to be really hectic. So the time over the summer is going to be important to get the album right. Unless anybody wants to offer us some festivals.
That's quite, yeah, it's very interesting that you say that, because I mean, apart from the Great Escape, I mean, I don't think you're on any of the bills, are you?
We've been told, I'm quite happy to talk about it, like, we're a bit frustrated about it, to be honest. We get told we're not a festival band. So.
It's quite the opposite though, because we probably are, but I think we're just, a lot of people see us as too depressing for some reason, but
I really think we would go down well in festivals and like tents and stuff, and I think if we're given the opportunity to show that, then we would take it with both hands, if you know what I mean.
I'd have to agree with that, because I mean the first time that I saw you guys was at Connect Festival, you know, and I mean that was just one of the best live shows I've seen. So to sort of say that you're not a festival band, I don't quite understand where they're coming from.
Well, we've also been told that most festivals are catered for new bands now, which is a shame, because there's a lot of bands like ourselves in the position that we're in, like 3 albums, where, as I said earlier, everybody's so obsessed with all these new bands. And don't get me wrong, I like new music as well, but if we don't support bands like ourselves and like people who are genuinely making good money and giving opportunities, then you're going to lose them.
Yeah.
I'm like, you will lose bands, because everybody's looking for this new next big thing, and I think we're definitely frustrated the fact that we've not been asked to do any, which is, it's a bit of a beaner on it, to be honest. But the fact is, we've got a next the second half of the year touring our arses off again. So having that summer off to write and get on the next album, it's a kind of weighing it up. I would rather have another album.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
If people don't want to book us for festivals, then we'll just write another album and prove them wrong.
I mean, have you got a time scale for when you want to, you know, want the record to come out or anything?
I don't know, we've not actually spoken to the label about it, but it's just we want to get it done as soon as possible, really.
Yeah.
You know, just keep on putting stuff out, you know. Don't want any kind of downtime anymore, you know. It's like, just, I mean, that's the other thing about music today as well. You need to constantly be releasing stuff to keep on everybody's radar and whatnot, because there is that many bands about, you know. So, yeah, just what I don't have a date or anything yet, but hopefully not too long. Not as long as last time. Great.
Nobody's given us a time scale, but I think we're giving ourselves one. Just saying both. Because I mean, I know I'm ready to move on, Andy's ready to move on with it, like, from this album, even though it just came out what 2 or 3 months ago. We're both ready to move on and go to that next thing. Because I think this album's opened up so many doors for us, musically. Like, there's so many directions and things we could do with it. So it's kind of, we're pretty excited about that. So. We've also got a remix album coming out and some other wee things coming out as well, so we will be releasing stuff constantly.
So what's on the remix album then? How's that come about?
It's just an idea to kind of let other people kind of interpret the tunes, you know. We just got in touch with quite a few folk. I don't know if I'm allowed to say MD yet, but nah, because I remember I was going at one point and then I got into trouble for it. So, I mean, it'll all get announced and whatnot pretty soon, because it's just about all finished and whatnot.
It's about like 8 or 9 remixes in.
Yeah.
I was really surprised about the people we managed to get to do the remixes. Like, it was a surprise, but I was happy that some of our favourite bands, like from around the world, have done it. So, and what we've heard of them, it's like totally different.
It's great.
It's not just, they've not just moved a few things about, like, and stuff like that. It's like total different interpretations, and it's really, I'm kind of excited to get out there.
So what are your plans for tonight's set? I mean, like, are there any songs, for example, which you'll never play again from your back catalogue?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say we'll never play them again, but there's songs like we have that we've not played in a long time. Like, say a song like "Walking for 2 Hours," I totally forgot about it the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't even realise we wrote that song. And it was a good. I enjoyed playing that live. And things like "Talking with Fireworks" we've not played in ages, and it's not because we don't like them and don't want to. It's just the way we've been working the set. It's just been working so well with the mixture of the songs. We've just been trying to play the kind of. We're definitely not a singles band, but the singles off each album maybe, because they're the ones that are most popular as well. I don't know. Is there any song you never ever want to play again?
Probably quite a few, yeah. That's why I want to write new stuff, so I don't need to play those ones again.
I mean, obviously, looking back over your three records, I mean, you know, is there anything which you do differently with any of the albums? Is there anything where you think to yourself, I don't know, maybe we could have improved on that, or not included that, or included something else?
I mean, like, I try not to think about that, because I mean, you could just sit and pick at it all day, at everything, you know, and think, oh, we should redo that. It's like just normally record it and don't listen to it again. Like, I play different parts every single night we play. So I mean, if we were to re-record it again, my guitar lines would be completely different, you know. So it's just like, I always just try and change it to keep, you know, keep it interesting, you know. But I would never go back and change anything, because you would just spend the rest of your life doing it, do you know what I mean? You would never be content with the one record kind of thing. So.
I know so many bands who kind of do that, and they'll record a version and then they'll listen to it, and somebody will make a comment and they'll take it back and change it, and then before you know it, 18 months have passed and not actually released anything, and it's quite sad really when that happens.
When we release an album, I never listen to it again, unless I forget the lyrics and I have to go back and listen to it. But I try not to, like, the fact that we get to the point where we're all happy with something and it's finished, then I don't see the point in going back and reliving that, you know, because once the album's done, it's a case of then what's important for us is then taking it out and on playing it live. That becomes more important, because that part of the job's done as far as I'm concerned.
I know we've sort of like already mentioned new bands. I mean, have you got any advice for new bands who are just starting out?
Stay in school.
Get a real job. I don't know. I would always just say, just don't listen to MD. Don't read reviews, don't listen to labels, don't listen to MD's advice, just do what you want to do.
Don't compromise anything because somebody else tells you what they think you should be doing. We're the last people to give anybody advice. But I think that the thing is with our band, it's not about what we're wearing, what I don't know, there's no gimmicks with us, you know what I mean? We're just like five guys that are friends with each other from Scotland who like to write music together, and it's just, that's as honest as you get it. We don't have any fancy light shows, we don't have there's no airs and graces. It's just basically about the music we write, and that's it. There's no egos, there's nothing like that. It's just a case of writing music and enjoying writing music and going out and playing music, no matter how many people you're playing in front of. And if you keep that in your head, then I think you can go far. Like, I think you're not a dickhead, basically. No. Don't be a dickhead. Kids, don't be a dickhead. But
no, I think that pretty much sums up everything up. And well, thanks ever so much for talking to us.
Yeah, cheers.
Seeing the show tonight. It's been amazing.
Cheers. Thank you, man. Cheers. Thank you.
Don't take